Hey guys, so this is my review for Vampire Diaries episode 11, Our Town. There will be spoilers in this episode, so if you have not watched the new episode of Vampire Diaries, please don't watch this. Wait for it to come out on the CW website. It comes out on Monday, I assume. They wait the whole weekend and then they put it up on Monday. So yeah, or I think you can watch it on Hulu, or just find some place to watch it, then come back and watch this, okay? Just so y'all know. So the episode begins with Damon in the shower, which is a very good indication that this will be an awesome episode, and it pretty was. With some points, it was really good and very interesting and very kind of weird, kind of cute, and just a good episode. I think every episode that starts off with Ian Somerhalder shirtless in the shower, I think is always a good episode. I think, yeah, or maybe that's just me. Anyway, so Damon is just coming off this. I guess it's supposed to allude to the fact that he is just coming off this high. He kissed Elena. He's feeling great about himself. He's just feeling like, oh, I finally kissed her. I feel great. Yeah. And then it just it cuts to Elena beating the shit out of this punching bag because she's just so, she doesn't know what to think. Okay, she doesn't know if she liked the kiss. I think she did like the kiss. I'll get to that later on in this review, but she just doesn't know how to feel right now. She doesn't know if she should if she liked this kiss, or if she didn't like it. There's the Stefan thing is like going on in her head. Everything is just happening, and she just doesn't know what to think, and she's just frustrated. She wants to get everything out, and so at this point, no one knows that Damon and Elaine has kissed. Alaric kind of throughout during the episode, he kind of realizes how Elena has changed and her mood is kind of different, and he asks Damon, or he just states to Damon that Elena's been acting a little weird, and Damon doesn't say anything. He just says, well, it probably has to do with Stefan, obviously, because that's where most of their problems, besides Klaus, that's where most of her problems really are at the moment. So at this moment, no one knows that they have kissed. But then again, I'm pretty sure that will change in the coming episodes, knowing Damon, him being has no one ever told him to not to kiss and tell? But hey, I love when he causes drama, so it doesn't really. So I bring on the drama anyway. So then the scene where Damon and Stefan are going back to the witch's house to check on the caskets, or just watch them. And during this time, Bonnie has been trying to open them, and she's did the spell. It won't open, and she doesn't understand why it won't open. And Damon, I love Damon in this. His one line was the witch spirits are able to protect the casket to make them invisible, but they can't open one, and he doesn't understand why. And they're also trying to figure out who or what is in this casket. Now, of course, from last episode, Bonnie believes that in this casket is the key to destroying Klaus. At least that's what they think at this time. They don't know. They really don't know what's in it, but everyone seems to think that there's something in there, whatever it is, something either really important or really not good. Who knows? For what I've seen on Twitter, a lot of people seem to think it is the original doppelganger, which I think is the more prominent. Not really more relevant. I think that's the more logical of the theories. I mean, there are a few people who think that maybe Klaus is a twin brother, or maybe it's their mother for some reason. I'm leaning more towards the original doppelganger side of the theories. But I'm not leaving I'm not leaving anything to chance, because with this series you never really know. So again, I ask, what do you think is in that casket? And do you think it is the key to destroying Klaus? Now, really soon in this episode, you realize that Stefan is willing we soon find out that Stefan is willing to lose everything. Even though he saves Damon in the episode before, in episode 9, we soon realize that he is willing to have Damon die, Elena die, Jeremy, Bonnie, anybody die in order to prove to Klaus that he is not going to let him, win. He just has this urge to just, destroy him, which I completely understand to a point, but the fact that he is willing to risk everybody's lives in order to just prove that point is kind of frightening to me. And again, it begs the question as to why people are still rooting for Stefan and Elena to be together, because from Stefan's actions this last episode, it just begs it. It's like, why do you want him to be with Elena when he so obviously does not care about Elena or anybody but himself and the point that he wants to make? I don't understand I don't understand why you people are still Elena fans. I mean, you guys can like rant and rave to me all you want and give me all your like little opinions and stuff, but you're not going to change my mind. I am still a Delana, so I'm a Delana shipper hardcore since literally season 1, so don't even try it with me. You will not be able to change my mind at all. So, so Stefan goes to see Klaus and tells him that if he doesn't take his hybrids out of Mystic Falls, that he will basically knock off his family, his family, in the caskets one by one. He even threatens to throw Eliza into the ocean, and Klaus is like, oh, whatever, okay, whatever, I can lose one brother, but these guys are here to stay. And of course so Stefan doesn't really make that point. He does end up killing a hybrid before he leaves Klaus's mansion, new house that he has now built in Mystic Falls. Another thing that is going on in this episode, that it is Caroline's birthday now. Obviously it's not really Caroline's birthday because she is a vampire, so she can't age. So Caroline does bring that up, that she is just stuck. She is not going to turn old. She is technically dead, and yeah. So that's kind of like, I'm like, oh yay, it's her birthday, and then I'm like, oh wait, she's a vampire. And can I just say, Caroline throws a lot. Her birthday for Elena was a lot better than Elena and Bonnie's and Matt's birthday for her. Just saying, yeah. Caroline is definitely more of the party planner than Elena is, but what can you expect? All this Klaus shit's going on. Also, another thing that is going on is Jeremy leaving. Elena tells Bonnie, and of course Bonnie has to butt her little head in and, bitch about it and moan about it and blah 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 blah. She always has her opinion on shit, and she of course does not like it, and she feels that Elena is taking away Jeremy's choices, and she believes Jeremy should be allowed to make the decision to stay or leave Mystic Falls. Now I see where Bonnie is coming from, but I'm on Elena's side. I definitely think that Jeremy should leave for a while. I mean, there isn't much for his character. There isn't really a reason for his character to be there, and again, I think he will come back. I don't think he's going to be gone forever. His character needs to leave for a little bit, and you never know well, maybe he finds something there in the town that he's going to. You never know. And so yeah, and Tyler and Caroline. Let me just get to this. Okay, so Tyler forgives Caroline and says that, what does he say? He apologizes for him being sad and the fact that he can't fully commit himself to her because he's fully committed to Klaus. And later on, now after Stefan leaves Klaus's house, Tyler comes back and they're cleaning up the mess that Stefan has left, i.e. the hybrid kill thing that he did. And Klaus says, I want you to bite Caroline. And Tyler says, no, I'm not going to bite her. And we're like, okay, good, you know. And Klaus says, what does he say? He says, this is, he basically states the sire thing. He basically gives you the definition of sire, which is really interesting, even though we know what the definition of the sire is. He basically says, I have the ability to make you do whatever I ask. And Tyler says, no, I'm not going to bite Caroline. And of course we believe Tyler. We're like, okay, good, he's going against Klaus. But of course that is thrown out the window later on in the episode, which is great. And next scene, the council party. They're always the return of the council party meeting thing in this episode. Damon and Alaric are there, and then we soon find out that Klaus is also there, and we then find out that he has control over the council, and he tells the mayor. He basically gets the mayor on his side, and he tells Damon that if Stefan does not listen to him, then basically all hell will break loose in Mystic Falls. And Damon says, well, Stefan's not going to listen to you, and da-da-da-da, and Klaus is just like, you know, basically in full control, and that's not a good thing. That's definitely not a good thing. Thankfully, though, Sarah Forbes, Caroline's mother, is not taking a sip of the Klaus Kool-Aid, which, again, another zinger for Ian Somerhalder. God, he always gets the good zinger, like, lines. I love it. And, so, thankfully, the sheriff is on Damon, well, technically our side with the whole Klaus thing. We're just like, Klaus is bad, don't listen to him, don't drink the Klaus Kool-Aid, it's not good. I heard it's not Hawaiian Punch, it's grape, and frankly, I don't like grape, I like Hawaiian Punch. So, yeah, I don't know. Psh, making it funny here. You know, lowering it down. And at this council meeting, Stefan ends up, well, I think he does kill the hybrid, I don't know. Or he tries to, but Damon stops him, and Damon says, do you have any idea what you're doing? Klaus is not going to listen to you if you keep killing hybrids. If you kill this one, 20 more are going to show up. And then he reminds Stefan of Elena's part in all this. Do you really want her to be a human blood bank for the rest of her life? And Stefan says, well, it's not my job to protect her anymore. Klaus has relieved me of that duty. It is now your job to protect her. And Damon says, if you want to be the better villain, you have to think. You have to think, or something. I forgot that line. But then Stefan says, no, to be the better villain. If you want to be the better villain. I forgot the line. What is it? And he says, if you want to beat the villain, you have to be the better villain, which I personally love that line, just to let you know. And so then he walks away, and we're like, oh, okay, whatever. And during this time, for some reason, Elena, Bonnie, and Matt think instead of having a regular birthday party like happy birthday, da-da-da-da-da-da, let's have a funeral for Caroline. So they basically pronounce her dead, which is kind of cute in a weird way. I don't know how to feel about the whole funeral thing, but hey, whatever. It's better. I guess a funeral is the new birthday. I don't know. Psh, that's not morbid. Then again, what isn't morbid on this show? So this is something I should have. I didn't expect, but I probably should have. You never know. You never know with this show. You just never know. Which is a good thing. Which is probably why I am so obsessed with it. So they bury her. They don't bury her, but they like basically say, "Here lies Caroline." La di da di da di da di da. So they're basically just chilling in the cave, wherever they are. They're in the woods somewhere, and Tyler shows up. Now Caroline had been texting Tyler. I don't know if she invited Tyler or Tyler said, "Hey, can I come over?" But he crashes it, I guess. And he's like, "Caroline, I need to talk to you." And then he admits his love for Caroline while they're in the woods, and they start making out. We're like, oh, okay, yay, they're kind of getting back together. Oh, I have hope. But then he bites her. Now, that just proves to me that Tyler has absolutely no control over what he does. Klaus tells, I hate my alarm clock. Klaus tells Tyler, bite Caroline. He says, no, I'm not going to bite her, but he does. Unintentionally and unknowingly, he just bites her. And of course, like Tyler said to Klaus, that a hybrid bite will kill a vampire. And that's not good. And of course, Caroline knows this, and she says, get away from me, blah, blah, blah. So Tyler leaves. And then Matt and Elena go off and are yelling for Caroline. They don't know where she is. And then all of a sudden, Matt gets thrown to the ground or beat down, and then Elena gets kidnapped by Stefan. And they're driving along. They're driving really fast, and Elena wants to get out of the car. And Stefan then calls Damon and basically says he wants to prove a point to Klaus, and Damon says no, but of course that doesn't work, so Stefan hangs up. Then he calls Klaus and says you can't, and basically threatens to Elena and then to Klaus that if you don't get your hybrids out of Mystic Falls, your blood bank is gonna be gone. So he then bites himself and feeds Elena his blood and says to Klaus, you can't make new hybrids if your blood bank is a vampire now, can you? And as this is going on, he's driving hella fast down the road to Rickety Bridge. Now, Rickety Bridge is where Elena's parents died before, in the beginning, basically, you know what I mean, basically referring back to season 1. And Elena's like, get me out of this car, and of course Klaus realizes that, hey, this guy is not just kidding, he's actually going to kill Elena. There's just no, he's proving a point, basically. And Klaus tells him to stop, and of course Stefan stops, and all is well. But of course Elena is not too happy. I would not be too happy either. And this little action that Stefan does just proves to me that, hey, Stefan is gone and he does not care about Elena, like I said very earlier on in this review. And Elena says, why do you want to do this? And he says, getting back at Klaus is all I have. And she says, well, you had me. And he says, I lost you the minute I left with Klaus. I don't have you. And Elena says, do you want me to hate you? And he says, I don't care what you think about me. And then he leaves. And it's just like, and you're like, oh my God. And it's just, so then the next scene is Jeremy leaving. He's leaving, and Bonnie comes up. Of course, for there's like a silence, and I'm like yelling at. I'm not really yelling at my TV. I'm just like sending like, don't you fucking dare tell Jeremy that he has been compelled. If you do that, bitch, I will kick your ass. And of course, he doesn't, thankfully. And so he leaves. Alaric takes him on the airplane, and he leaves. And the ending of the episode is this guy who we met at the council party, and who is Meredith, the doctor who fixes Alaric, and I think there's going to be a relationship there. I'm very suspicious of her. I don't think she's a vampire. I definitely don't think she's a vampire. But she is suspicious. I don't know what to think of her. This guy has been murdered. He hasn't been killed by a vampire. And so it's technically the first murder of in Vampire Diaries, unless you count the vampire killings as murders. I mean, I think they could be considered murders, but in the show they're considered vampire killings. But hey, who knows? Gosh, this review is long. I hope you, whatever. I'm pretty sure I got everything that I wanted to talk about, which is a good thing. Oh, Caroline and Klaus. That is the big question. What do you guys think of the Caroline and Klaus, which is now being called Klaroline? Hashtag Klaroline. What do you guys think of that? I don't know. I think it's a very interesting dynamic to add to the show. I don't think it's a love connection per se, but I do think it'll be an interesting relationship to delve into. I can't wait to see what they'll do with that. I definitely think Tyler and Caroline are done for now. I think this episode kind of proves to me that Tyler is very much, his willpower to defy Klaus is just not, it's just not there. He can't defy Klaus no matter how hard he wants to. So I do think Tyler and Caroline are just kind of donezo for now, but I definitely can't wait to see what Klaus and Caroline bring to the table. What do you guys think of that? Are you for it? Are you against it? Or are you just as interested? I'm just interested. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I'm just interested. And also, the bracelet that Klaus gives Caroline, I think that's very suspicious. I don't think it's like, I don't know. It could be, some people think of it as just, oh, it's a gift. But I am very suspicious. Just call it my, I don't know, what would you call it? Like, I don't know. Every time someone gets a gift from someone who's considered a bad vampire, just anyone who gets a gift in this show, it just, for me, it's like, I think it could be used for something bad. But who knows? So I cannot wait to see what next episode brings. Tell me what you think is going to happen next episode. Tell me what you think of Klaus and Caroline, that relationship. And again, what do you think? Who do you think? What do you, what do you think of this episode? Do you like it? Did you hate it? You know, God, 21 minutes of me blah, 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 blah. So, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.